August, my wife and I are going to be traveling to Europe,
Okay.
and for about a month. So, I mean, do you take vacations? How do you trade and do kind of family time / vacations? How do you work that out?
It's a good question. It's a really good question, and it's one that you have to think through a little bit. You have to think through a little bit because there again are no markets are the same all the time. In other words, December typically is a slow month, really from Thanksgiving through January. August is typically a very slow month. Outside of that, you've got 10 very busy months. So you basically have from mid-January through July. When earnings end, July earnings ends the second quarter for most companies. July is a very busy month. So if you have to choose a summertime vacation, I always suggest August over July over June. Okay. The other thing is, where are you traveling for vacation? Do you have Wi-Fi? Do you have internet? Are you going to be able to trade in Hawaii at 2 a.m. when the market opens? Would you like to do that? If not, then take it off. It's available, however, for you to behave and exist in a February market, but you might lose a little bit of sleep. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. When in Europe, I've never spent long periods of time in Europe. I've always wanted to, and here's why. In Europe, I could basically have my full day of touring around wherever it may be. Again, different time zones from UK over to Russia, let's say, right? There's different time zones across that whole wide area of Europe. So I need to know how late I want to start. But in the UK, I'm basically gonna start trading around 8 o'clock local time PM. That's a good thing, because I can spend the whole day, tuck the kids in or set them off after dinner, watch a movie, and I can actually work a little bit. Now, do I want to? That's the question. Now, the great thing about markets is if they're busy and you've already planned this vacation, well, you have to go on vacation. You need to. You got to get away from the screens. And maybe you just don't trade. That's an option. Or it's an area where the time zones work to your favor. Again, Hawaii or Europe, you can still trade and not miss a beat. You're just going to miss a little bit on sleep and maybe some downtime. So I recommend always getting away from the screens, and I try to do that daily, by the way.
Yeah, how do you just kind of click the off button?
As a rule, I know in my head that I have a swath of time every day from 9 to 11 that not much is happening. And with today's world, I've always been a screen trader, so I've never traded. I've been on the floors, but I've never traded for a living on the floors. So I never had to do that every day. So I don't have to be anywhere. I've never had to be anywhere to trade. However, where I have an advantage today is my cell phone, my iPad. As long as I have chargers, these things can tell me what's going on as long as I have access to internet. Now, if I'm up in Oregon where I live and I'm up in the mountains hiking, I'm not going to have access to internet, and either I leave my orders in and go is another way to trade, or I don't trade. So it really comes down to your experience level and what you expect when you're on vacation. There's nothing wrong. I totally think you need to at least check out 2 to 4 weeks, but I also know that there's certain times of the year that are really slow, and usually by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock from December, really from December 10th until January 10th, I know that the markets are going to be slow in the afternoon because people are vacating. It's funny, Americans act like we don't take vacations and we work hard, but we do the same thing that Europeans do in the sense that, hey, around the holidays, we're going to go to our parties, we're going to get together with our family. We're all working, but we're taking time off. The great thing about markets is you can put orders in, leave them there, and still make money as long as you're comfortable and good enough to know that your system works and your orders are going to be taken. Now, having mobile devices changes everything. When I first started trading, and I've always been an upstairs trader trading on a computer, I still 95% of my trades were phoned in. I can't tell you the last time I phoned somebody at any of my brokers, except if I had a discrepancy in the trades or I'm missing a trade. And even that rarely happens anymore. So the flexibility is there that you're able to trade whatever market you are, depending on where you are. Let's say I go to Europe and I decide I want to trade the European markets in the open and then spend the afternoon with my family. I can change because I know that the way I trade doesn't matter what market I trade. It will work for the DAX just as well as it works for the S&P 500. So it doesn't matter. I can switch vehicles like that and still get what I need out of them in a short period of time, because again, we have an open, we have a close, everything in between is kind of chop suey, lunch. Everybody's just kind of standing in a circle shooting each other. I don't need to be around for that. And so I've learned that's the time that I go work out, that I go from 9 to 11. I go play squash. I go for an hour and a half walk. Get away from the screens, refresh, rejuvenate, because you have to, just like every job. I am my best, and you'll know this about yourself. I can't tell you. I am my best in the morning. One of the reasons why I wanted to move out west was I love 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. It is my most productive time of the day. That happens to match up very nicely with the US Opens. My next best time of the day is that after that 9 to 11, from 11 to 2 or 3. I'm very productive after lunch for the US markets. So on the West Coast, that means it's 11 to 1:30 here in the is when I'm operating. So it works extremely well. I don't have to. I know that that's like the natural biorhythm of the U.S. markets. I know that Wednesdays are the EIA. I know when the crop reports are. I know to avoid trying to guess what the market's going to do on those days. I wait until that news comes out. Why step in front of a news release that everybody knows is coming, but nobody knows what's going to happen in that news release? So it's really important that you take vacations, step away from the markets, and take time off. Doesn't matter. If you need, I know a lot of traders can do their job, and quite frankly, a lot of people can make their money in the first quarter of the year and take the rest of the year off if they're comfortable doing that. I'd be bored. I couldn't do it all the time. But take time off, whether it's, and I really think you have to structure it every day where you're planning on taking it off. If the market's doing its normal thing, you're going to leave, get away from the screens. Go have lunch. Go have breakfast with friends. Go take your kids to a doctor appointment. Go pick up your car at the dealership. Go pick up your laundry. There's a ton of things you can do and still have that time after the market's closed to spend time with your family. As always here at the 5 Minute Trader, we welcome all your questions. Send us an email. Anything that you're thinking about that we haven't touched upon may be coming in a video. Believe me, we've heard many questions, but please keep them coming. I don't care how silly, stupid, dumb you think it is. Send it to me. I'd love to answer your question. And as always, if you'd like to spend an hour with us, click on the button on the website. If you want to spend a day, we have that offering also. I'm not going to hard sell you. You'll know when you're ready to make that move. In the meantime, keep busting it out there, keep grinding. Trading is fun. Have fun with it. Make it simple. Make it your own. And have a great day. Peace. 5 Minute Trader.